Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the spiritual advisor for Marc Healing Arts. It's so good to see you here today. We'll ask the oracle cards, why am I misunderstood? I think it's a relatable question for many people. But regardless of the questions we'll ask Spirit, my intention is to give you a roadmap shaping your future positively and proactively. Never feel bad if something's not working for you, because I have ways to redirect your energy and action to change your path. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to subscribe to Marc Healing Arts on YouTube and like the videos. If you want to contact me in between videos, go to my website, marchealingarts.com, listed in the description box below. Now let's begin. I have 5 piles of cards here, each one paired with a unique succulent plant. Pile number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick the pile of cards that you feel attracted to energetically. To see your reading, skip to the timestamp listed in the description box below. Okay, here we go. Pick your card number 1. Why am I misunderstood? First card I got for you is there's something better. There's something better. Now, what does that mean? That means you need to take the right approach on how to handle something. So when something's better on how we handle it, on how to express it. Because if we're not being understood, we need to open a different way of communication on how to relate or how to communicate in a way that people are getting it. So we got to learn to communicate better so people are getting what we're saying. In the near future, that I want to make sure that you can see this. That means in the near future, that means things will start clearing up for you. Things will come into place where people will understand. So it's close. It's not too far. So don't be discouraged that, but people still not understanding me. They will start understanding. So the language has to be different. A different way of changing, a way of how you're communicating, that you'll be more and more understood. So be patient with yourself and don't be hard on yourself regarding this. Got compromise. I know you're used to doing it one way. Well, compromise. Do it a different way. Remember when I told you about with language on how you got to change the way you're thinking and feeling and relating and communicating. Because if you're not understood, it's something that they're not connecting with you. They're not resonating with you. So you have to do another approach. And when you do another approach, then people will start understanding you. It may not be the way you want it to be. But the thing is, they'll relate with you more. So try different ways of changing things. So compromise. Well, I don't want to do it this way, but do it a different way. That something that you may not even think of on how to approach it, how to open that doorway. So this way they connect with you. Here's something that's really good, is letting go. Letting go. That means the old way of doing things that you want to let go. Don't hold on to old stuff that's not serving you. Because if you're misunderstood, and you keep on holding the way you're expressing and opening, and there are times it's not only how you're expressing, but it's the vibe that you're giving off. Change your vibe on how you're trying to let that person feel about you. If you're not thinking as optimistic, think more optimistic. Bring your frequency at a higher level. So it's the vibration that you're sending out, as well as you are expressing it. So think of raising the frequency up, as well as expressing it. use different ways. Like even if you went into spirituality and you were approaching it, and you may say about, oh, you can leave your body, and that could freak some people out. Do it a different kind of approach. When you go to sleep at night and you dream, right? You remember your dreams? This is a good example. Remember your dreams? Don't you feel like you're somewhere else? Isn't there a possibility that there's more than just the earth? Kind of relate it in a different kind of a way so they'll connect, so they'll understand any subject. It could be about family, friends, whatever it is that they may not understand what you're doing it in a different kind of a way so they do understand. Something I want you to look for, so this way you'll become more understood instead of misunderstood, that you want to look for a sign. Look for a sign. That means you're looking for a different way of doing it. The angels and guides will guide you through this. So this way you'll be more understood. Because the other way, if you're not looking for the signs and they're helping you, so the angels are there for you, to help you. They'll show you different ways on how to approach it. So always look for the signs, because they'll give you different doorways you can walk through. This way you are understood. And it could be a verbal thing. It could be a vibe thing, like I said before, raising the frequency up. Or the energy we're throwing out there by manifesting. That's a good one too, manifesting. How people will understand, because we'll attract that. You want to attract that too. That's another good point. And you know what? Don't feel like you're alone, because you have a lot of people on your side. It could be family, it could be friends. This is for helpful people to help you, to guide you, to support you. So don't be afraid to ask for help and guidance and support through this, because you got many people around you who will relate with you. They'll connect with you. So don't feel like you're alone at this, but knowing how to approach things differently. Not only let angels show you the signs, but also let other people give you ideas of different way of thinking. You may like doing it this way. They could give you a good example on a different way of doing it, because again, if you're not connecting, if you're not resonating, of course you could be misunderstood. So the vibe has to be there, right? Manifesting, law of attraction. That's number 2. It's how we express it. So we have to express things differently so we can be understood. And guess what? Through all this work that you're going to do, you're going to become successful. Look what card I got. Success. You will be successful at it. So take the right approaches to do with it. I already explained to you before, and I'll repeat it again. Bring your vibe up. Manifest beautiful things. Language. Communicate in a different kind of a way. Think how they're thinking on how to relate, and then express it that way. So you are compromising, you're doing it a different kind of a way. You're letting go of old ways of doing things. Do things new ways. Look for the signs to get help from the angels and from people on the earth, because you will become successful if you take these approaches. And that's how you'll be understood, and you won't be misunderstood. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts. My goal is always to help. In addition to psychic readings, I also do energetic healings and spiritual coaching to move you toward where you want to be in your life. See you in our next session, where we'll ask Spirit, am I in the right career? Blessings and love to you. And remember that I'm here to help you to be who and where you want to be in your life. Until next time, I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts, and have a beautiful day. Blessings and love to all. Okay, here we go. Pick your card number 3. Why am I misunderstood? First card I got is unlikely. Unlikely. That means the approaches that you're making is not working. So you want to work at approaches that do work. So whatever you're doing, it's not working. So it's unlikely you're going to be able to relate, to connect. So you want to try different approaches, different way of doing things to make it happen. That means you really want to resonate on how they handle it, not how on you want to resonate on how they handle it, not on how you handle it. But guess what? You're ready to make these approaches. You're ready. And it will happen in your favor. So even though you may not think like, well, they never understand me anyway. They always misunderstand me on how to handle things. But if you take the right approaches and go by on how they relate to things, then they'll understand you. So understand something. Read into them on how they could observe it and how they question it and how they handle it, and relate into that instead of by how you're expressing it, because your way is not getting to them. So do it a different approach on observing them and questioning it on how they're handling it, and then feed into that and communicate differently. But you know what? Through this whole thing, you want to listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your heart by meditating, really getting into it. And really taking the approaches on ask spirit, ask questions through spirit, through your meditation. Listen to your intuition by your heart. That after you observe them and question them on how they handle it, listen to your heart. How would I approach it? So your gut intuition is there, because look what's happening here. They're saying that you're ready to make these approaches, different ways of handling it, to relate to different people. And this way you'll be more understood instead of misunderstood, because you're ready to take the approach. But you have to listen to your intuition more. You also have to think more on what you're going to say to them by observing and questioning them. Well, this card right here is the abundance card. The abundance. That something big is going to happen through this. This is going to be a whole lifetime changeover for you. Because if more people connect with you and they understand you and you don't feel so upset, then they're not relating to you, then you're going to feel good about yourself. Wow, this person, and this is a big thing. Let's put it this way. If you have the full confidence, knowing that you have what it takes to connect with people, that's a great feeling all by itself. That's a big thing, because communication is the key to everything. So you learn the key, even to relate to other people. I would say that's abundance. That's something big that you never had before, that now people understand you. That's going to put you in a better place to feel happy about yourself and love yourself even more, because you're going to have more confidence, because you could be connecting and you'll learn the language barrier on how to communicate. And then you'll feel accepted, because if you're throwing off things and they don't understand you, that doesn't feel good. But if they're relating to you, having great conversations, and you're connecting by communicating, you'll be understood, not misunderstood. Get more information. Get more information. That means you have to create a plan. When you create a plan and you have it out there, then you'll know. But also you have to get information on How do I handle it with this person? It's okay to talk to them and not relate at the time frame or that moment, whatever it was. But then you go home, right? Put it on a little piece of paper. Information is, oh, I observed and I know how this person handles it this way and that way. So what are the right words I can use so I can be understood? Because now I observe them, so I know where they're coming from. So let me put it into their language. There it is. But you got to get more information by, remember what I said to you before, by listening to your intuition. Let Spirit help you through that, through your meditation, get the proper words. But also you want to get information from yourself, learning on how to get information, not only from Spirit, but within yourself. Learning on how to use the right words, think of the right words that you want to approach to them. So you will be understood, not misunderstood. But I promise you, if you take these approaches, your condition will improve. Your condition will improve. I know it's a lot. But once you start doing it, it becomes easier and easier, and things will improve, and you will do things that you'll feel not only better about yourself, but you'll be connecting with people. We're all here to connect to one another, but we want to be understood. If you talk Italian, I talk Spanish, we're not going to relate. One of us is going to have to learn either Spanish or Italian, whatever language that you don't speak. But whatever it is, it needs to connect, or you're always going to be misunderstood. So there's a language barrier that needs to be worked on. But you could observe them, question them, like I said before, and then figure out, you could go home and do this and say, what do I do now? What is the right approaches? Oh, we talked about this. Well, what are the right words that I can now use? We talked about spirituality. What words can I use into saying the word is hearing spirit? You may use approaches as, if you keep your mind quiet, can you relate it to certain sounds? Do you hear sounds that you normally don't hear? When you're paying attention, can you hear things now if you keep yourself really quiet that normally you don't hear? Related to it. But situation which will improve. And overall, when you feel good about yourself, improving your health will also come into place for you. Improving your health. That means you'll be more balanced. When you'll be more understood, not misunderstood. On improving your health, that means mentally you'll feel more stabilized, more balanced, emotionally, physically, spiritually. All of this will come about, and your health will improve. So all those aspects, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, you'll feel good about yourself. And you work through all of it. So your health will improve in all states. Situations will improve. Get all information you can through spirit and through yourself. Big time changes are going to come because from the abundance. And that's how you won't be misunderstood, that you will be understood. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts. My goal is always to help. In addition to psychic readings, I also do energetic healings and spiritual coaching to move you toward where you want to be in your life. See you in our next session, where we'll ask Spirit, am I in the right career? Blessings and love to you. And remember that I'm here to help you to be who and where you want to be in your life. Until next time, I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts, and have a beautiful day. Blessings and love to all. Okay, here we go. Pick a card number 2. Why am I misunderstood? The first card I got for you is the word no, and it says no. And what does that mean? What it means by when it says no, you won't be misunderstood, but you have to take the right approaches. So this way you'll be understood. So you have to listen to your heart. If they're not relating to it, it's saying no. Don't try those approaches. Try a different kind of approach to handle it. So the right way to say no, whatever you're doing, stop. Do not do it. No, no, no. And for them to let you know that you want to be understood, not misunderstood, that you want to take action. You have to make things work out in the way that they're going to relate and they're going to connect. Because if you don't make the right approaches and take the action to make it happen, how are you ever going to be understood? You have to try different ways of language. Language is a big thing here. Language. Knowing how to communicate and open up. Because let's put it this way. You have to take the proper steps. How do you take the proper steps? What do you need to do to take the action? Well, first of all, you're going to make it happen by, you can write things down on a piece of paper by saying, my friend John doesn't understand me because I talked to him about fishing in the way I love to do it. Relate on how he would understand it. Because what you're saying to him is not making any sense. The way you're using the words, so you want to change the words around. So this way you'll become more, not only, you won't be misunderstood. You won't be misunderstood, but you'll be more understood because you're actually saying things that they can relate. Even though he may not like fishing, or she may not like fishing, whoever it is, but if you're doing it in a kind of a way that can relate, that they can actually see things like, oh yeah, I know what a fish is. I know how to throw the reel out. I know how to catch the fish. You can relate that way. But if you go into too much depth about what fish and they're not into it, how are they going to understand you? Or how about your spirituality? For another good example on, you're saying things that they don't understand. Say it to their level, not your level. But you know what? And I know this bothers you, people don't understand you, but guess what? No need to worry. No need to worry because things are going to work out. Okay, so no need to worry. But you definitely want to take action, like I said, to make it happen. Try different approaches. So think of and really focus on the language barrier here. On to shift things around. We're so used to a certain way of talking and communicating, but we're not, and this is really true, but we're not opening it up in a way that the person or the people who we're talking to can relate. So we want to bring ourselves down to their level and say, how would I approach it to them so they can understand what I'm saying? Sometimes what we're expressing may not be as open to them because they may be closed by it because they don't relate to how we're expressing it. So alter the way you're saying it to them by listening to them and see how they can relate by how they think. It may sound hard at first, but keep on working at it. And you'll find a way of doing it. Because guess what? Big happy changes are going to occur from doing this kind of work. Big happy changes. It means all the approaches that you're going to do, you're going to make things happen. And when you make things happen, well, guess what? Things will come into play for you. So don't stress about it. Just take action and make the change. But remember, keep in mind, it's a language thing. You have to go to their level. Also, you want to attract it. Law of attraction. You want to attract it and feel good about yourself as well. So keep those three things in your mind. Keep your vibe up. Feel good about yourself. Throw it out there. And use the language that they can relate to. Go to their level, not your level. Remember. Because you could be at a very high level and they're not. And you throw things out that they don't understand. They're going to misunderstand you, of course. So keep that in mind. And by doing this kind of work, I know it's hard at first, but you'll do it. You want to become more assertive at it. That means work at it more. Even if it takes time for you to work at. Because if you don't and become more assertive at it, then people will continually misunderstand you. And that's not going to be fun. So you really wanted to take the right approaches and become assertive at it. Because look what's happening here. They're saying take action, become more assertive at it. Make it happen so they can understand you. Because if you do it, the big happy changes are going to happen. You're going to be really happy in your life. That more people will connect with you and more people will resonate with you. But don't stress, like I said before. Just go and take things one day at a time. And part of the reason why you're not understood, because you know what, for us to be humanitarian, there is forgiveness that's involved in this, and I'm going to go into that. Forgiveness. That means you want to, whatever thoughts that you have and feelings that you have within inside you, forgive yourself and forgive others. Once you let that go, then you'll be more understood. Because believe it or not, if you're creating a block, here's a good thing to hear. If you're creating a block, a mental block, and you're not letting that go, that can mess up the frequencies of the communication. The people are not relating to you because you have that block up. So you got to remove that block. So forgive yourself, whatever you have done, refresh it, and then also whatever you have toward that person, forgive them too. Because if you forgive them as well, then you have more of an open communication, things will flow. Because the moment we have hatred, or we can't forgive, or we have resentment to the person, we're not going to communicate, and then there's going to be negative energies around us, and we won't be able to move forward and communicate the way we want. Because our frequencies are not going to match if there's negativity in the blockage. So blockage, it'll block the communication, even if you're saying it right. So we can release those energies through meditation. Do purging work, like feeling energies are coming out of your body. Release all stuff that don't serve you. Like make it ice to water, water to gas. Your body is an ice cube and it's melting into water, into gas, and it's coming out of your body, all the negativity that don't serve you. Purge it. This is the time of the year we're purging. Refresh yourself. And you could always ask help from others. Ask help from others. Because if you get the right assistance to help you through these approaches, then you're going to move more forward. So you do need assistance with this. So people will start understanding you by language. Language is a big thing here. So ask people for assistance. How should I say it this way? How can I say it that way? No. How do I relate? It could be a date. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. How do I relate with this family member? How do I do it so I could be understood? And they could give you the proper language. So just knowing if you put the action involved, you become more assertive, get rid of all negative blockages, ask for assistance, because beautiful times are coming for you and people will understand you if you work through this. So remember, become more assertive, take more action, keep the vibe up, feel good about yourself, and also know how to communicate. And that's how you'll be understood, not misunderstood. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts. My goal is always to help. In addition to psychic readings, I also do energetic healings and spiritual coaching to move you toward where you want to be in your life. See you in our next session, where we'll ask Spirit, am I in the right career? Blessings and love to you. And remember that I'm here to help you to be who and where you want to be in your life. Until next time, I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts, and have a beautiful day. Blessings and love to all. Okay, here we go. Pick a card, number 4. Why am I misunderstood? First card I got here for you is don't stop. Don't stop. That means whatever you're trying to do, keep on trying. So don't give up on it. I know you may say, well, people still misunderstand me. Of course, you want to be understood here, but they're misunderstanding you. But don't stop at your approach. You may need to do things a little bit differently, but still do some of the stuff that you're trying to do, but do other things as well. So don't stop what you're doing. Just keep on working at it. Don't give up on it. People will start to relate with you if you work at it within the next few weeks. Within the next few weeks, they will relate. They will connect. If you work at it, so you're not that far off. You may say, well, people have been misunderstanding me for years, and how are they going to know me within a couple weeks? Well, the Spirit is telling me through the cards that they're telling me if you communicate and learn a different approach or approaches, that means going by on how they can relate, not by on how you can relate. So you want to observe and question more on how they're really relating to it versus how you're relating to it. Even though there are differences here, yes. But relate to it on how they will understand it, not how you'll understand it. And more you'll see how you'll be understood, not misunderstood. And Spirit is saying, and here's the card, it's up to you. It's up to you to make these approaches, to make it happen. So the doorway is open to the other side for you. They're here to guide you and support you. But they're saying it's up to you to make those changes. It's not a long period of time. They wanted you to continue your work. That's why they say don't stop. But it's up to you to make those changes to happen. Because if you don't make those changes, it'll be more than a couple weeks. But it's up to you to change what is. But through this, you want to remain positive. Remain positive. I know it could be very disturbing to you on how you're trying to relate to people. But you want to remain positive. Because if you remain positive, you'll manifest beautiful things, and this will be altered. That people will relate to you more and more. Maybe a little here, within the next few weeks, it could be a few people that relate to you, and then there'll be more, and then there'll be more. But you got to remain positive, keep the vibe up, and think positive thoughts. Attract it. Visualize that people will understand you, or you see them already, that they already understand you. Part of the vibe has a lot to do with it too. So you want to remain positive. So whatever approaches that you're taking, so people can relate with you, you're putting it in the right way. So this way you're feeding into the energies for things to manifest in your favor. You know what? When we question things on how to handle things, the big way of getting answers, we need to meditate. Will bring answers. Meditate is a big, big thing. Meditate will bring answers. So when we start to question it, start meditating. Start questioning it. Ask the question me while you close your eyes, like how I'm closing my eyes, and relate with it. Because if you relate with it by asking the question, you'll see you'll get an answer, either through visual, audio, or that feeling. So whenever you have questions about things on how to be understood, not misunderstood, then meditate by getting your answers. Also, not only by your meditation, even though the angels will answer it for you, but also you want to ask for your angels. Ask for your angels. You could do it. And ask the questions, and they'll guide you and support you. So you have within yourself and you have the angels to go through all this, to make this happen. And you'll do it. And you'll make the right approaches. But you have to ask questions, of course. So you have a lot of assistance here, but stay positive through this whole changeover, because it'll be a good changeover, because the universe is saying it's up to you to make this change. And I really feel like there could be a soulmate or someone that really loves you by your side, because I got the romance card. Romance card. I feel like it could be a lover, a really good friend that will relate to you. So this way they can help you through this so people can understand you. So look what's going on here. Not only do you have yourself to get answers by meditation, you have angels to help you, and you have someone that loves you by your side to help you. So you know what you need to do here? So this way you'll be understood, not misunderstood. You know, because that's today's topic. Why am I misunderstood? You want to be understood. By asking for the right assistance, observing and questioning more on that individual or individuals, checking them out, see how they're handling it, how they relate, and relate to it by communicating that way. Learn different ways to communicate. And you could ask yourself through meditation, what should I say about this? What should I say about that? Through meditation. Ask the angels. Ask someone who's going to be by your side, could really love you with all their heart. And question that. And keep on asking questions. And relating to them. Not as much to you, relate to them so they'll connect with you and resonate with you. And if you do all this, that's how you'll be understood, not misunderstood. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts. My goal is always to help. In addition to psychic readings, I also do energetic healings and spiritual coaching to move you toward where you want to be in your life. See you in our next session, where we'll ask Spirit, am I in the right career? Blessings and love to you. And remember that I'm here to help you to be who and where you want to be in your life. Until next time, I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts, and have a beautiful day. Blessings and love to all. Okay, here we go. Pick a card, number 5. Why am I misunderstood? First card I got is reconsider. Reconsider how you're handling things, how you're doing things. Not saying that you're doing it all wrong, but you have to take different approaches. Reconsider what you're doing. See, right now, you're in a figure out kind of a period right now. Figure out, well, if I do it this way, maybe it'll happen. Maybe if I do it that way, it'll happen. So you're starting to question, like, why am I misunderstood? You know, why? Is it because of this? Or is it because of that? If it's because of this, maybe I need to do that. However you're going to handle it. If it's not working one way, try a different way. Reconsider on how to approach it. Right now, again, this is the questioning period. Which way do you want to go here? You'll see improvement if you work at it within the next few months. Within the next few months, you'll see improvement. If you take the right approaches. And I know this is hard to get everyone to understand you, but whoever you want to understand. And this way you could relate and connect. And you could feel like you have a bond between these two people, between you and the other person. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a love, it could be a stranger on the street that, who knows? Normally we wouldn't talk to strangers on the street, but, or people at work, or whatever it is, but you want to make that connection. So right now you're just reconsidering how to do things, you're questioning it, but within the next few months you'll see more improvement if you work at it. But whatever you're doing, very, very important. Whatever you're doing, you need to trust. You need to trust everything that you're doing. Even though it may not all sound right at the moment, but you need to trust it. Because if you don't trust it and you're doing this kind of work, how are you going to relate with it? How are you going to connect with it? You may think, this is all a flaw, or it doesn't make any sense, so how do I relate to it? So trust the process of it. So look what's happening. Not only are you considering which way to go, but trust it, whatever you're doing. Because it's working its way. And be patient with that. Because guess what? I know this is bothering you when people don't misunderstand you. It does. It bothers because you're not connecting with them. But if you work through this, a peaceful resolution will come from this. You will resolve this. Isn't that a good feeling to know people will actually understand and relate to you? And there'll be a peaceful resolution on how things are going to come together for you. So look what we're doing. We're trusting the process of it by reconsidering. We want to trust it. And things will get resolved for you. But always keep in mind that relate to them, not to you. You know what you're going to say, but relate to them on how they could connect with it. Because if they don't connect with it, how are you ever going to be understood? But here's a big key here. Is very, very important. Big key here is you want to communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. That means whatever you're saying, make sure that they understand. Because if they don't understand, then you're going to continually be misunderstood. So language here is a big thing. Always, of course, always think positive thoughts because you attract it, right? That's one thing. Another thing is communicate clearly. That means whatever you're trying to express, make sure that they can relate to it. This way you'll be understood. The other way, if you don't, you'll be misunderstood. So communicate in a way, I don't care if you have to go home and figure different approaches, ask your intuition, ask spirit to help you and guide you. So you use the right language so they can relate. But you have to believe. We have to believe in everything you're doing. You need to believe. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, look what's going on here. You need to believe in everything you're doing, but you need to have the trust in it. Without the trust, and you don't believe in what you're doing, how is it going to work out? So you have to trust it. You have to believe in it. So means whatever you're doing, have faith and trust in it. Because the peaceful resolution is going to come into place. But remember always to communicate clearly and also feel good about yourself. Throw that 5 out so when you're connecting with them, they'll feel that. Because you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity. The door is open for you to change this. But it's going to be up to you to change this for the better. So this way you'll be understood, not misunderstood, that we're trying to correct here. Don't be hard on yourself, knowing things are going to come together for you and you'll be understood. Sometimes we feel alone, we feel isolated, like no one's communicating with us because we're not being understood. So the language is a big thing here, as well as how you feel about yourself. And trust everything that you're doing. But the opportunity is there and the door is open for you to be understood. But with a language barrier, that's why you're being misunderstood. There's a language barrier. They don't relate with them. Remember, not as much as for you, but with them, learn about them and knowing how to connect with them. But you have the opportunity to do it if you want to do it. But believe in your work, communicate in a way that you're relating to them, because a peaceful resolution is going to come into place. You have to have faith and trust in what you're doing and believe, like I just said, because the opportunity is there for you if you put it into it. Have fun with it, play games with it, learning how to communicate. And this way, you'll be understood, not misunderstood. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts. My goal is always to help. In addition to psychic readings, I also do energetic healings and spiritual coaching to move you toward where you want to be in your life. See you in our next session, where we'll ask Spirit, am I in the right career? Blessings and love to you. And remember that I'm here to help you to be who and where you want to be in your life. Until next time, I'm Marc, the Spiritual Advisor for Marc Healing Arts, and have a beautiful day. Blessings and love to all.